Are you done chewing? Okay. Hi, I'm Shealyn.
Shay. Today we are doing Black Christmas in honor of the upcoming Christmas holiday. I was getting there. Shut up. Shaylin chose this movie, and it was interesting. 1974 version.
Yes.
It was interesting.
Yes, it's a cult classic.
Mhm.
Deemed as the first slasher film, I believe. Inspired Halloween and other films. I think their budget was low. It was something in 600,000, and it ended up
I would
making
assume
like
so.
$4 million. Made $4 million.
Well,
so
for that time, that's a lot of money. Yeah.
Yeah, it's referenced in a lot of like I think it's based off the urban legend, the babysitter and the man upstairs. So you've seen
Right, isn't
When a
that where
Stranger Calls.
When a Stranger Calls? Yes.
Mm-hmm. So you've
Very
seen
similar.
that. Similar in this.
I've actually not seen it, but I know the premise of it. So I know the premise of it. So I get that was very the same.
So we used to go to Blockbuster weekly. I mentioned this before, and we would pick like one of the 99-cent or dollar old horror movies. And so my mom would be like, oh, get this. Even though she's not that into horror, but she remembers movies that like scared her. And so she made us get When a Stranger Calls. And it made then my dad would not stop calling and being like, have you checked the children? And she's like, that's not funny. Like, don't do that, scare her. But it became a whole thing. He still does that, I think. But I recommend that movie, and you should watch the remake. It was actually really good too, like really interesting, creepy. But anyway, this movie, it has that warm, fuzzy 70s vibe, and it's
yes, it is.
Takes place at a sorority house.
Margot Kidder in it, and with the dad from Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, John Saxon, your favorite. Don't you like him, or you like the other?
I do like him. No, I do like him.
His eyebrows are just something,
Yes,
sexy
and they've
eyebrows.
not changed. They've not changed at all. They are still the
Why
same.
would you mess with perfection? Just keep it going with it. And
it's like Eugene Levy. Like, come on.
I know. Well, there's no controlling Noah's eyebrows. Like, just let him go.
Exactly.
But yes, this movie, it was also based on some actual murders that happened in, I wrote it down, in West, because I'm not that familiar with Canada, in the Westmount neighborhood of Montreal and Quebec.
Oh, wow.
So yes. So they changed it, because that was not at a sorority house, but they changed that idea and kind of, invented the different stories. But overall, the same idea that it's coming from inside the house, which would be really scary. But now I feel like that will always be the case because of cell phones, which they wouldn't be able to trace. That's why they say if you're ever in an emergency, call from the landline, because it's actually pretty hard to pinpoint a cell phone unless you're doing, triangular, tracing and everything like that. So I feel like now they're always already in your house. They're just calling from their cell phone. But at the time, this was a very scary idea.
Yes, it was good for I mean, again, with this one, I disliked all of the characters.
Well, they're terrible. Like, the one girl that I think you're maybe supposed to like, the one who's the main, and
Olivia,
she's like Julia.
Jess. Her name is Jess.
Yeah, and she's supposed to be, going through a tough time. She wants to get an abortion, yada yada, and but her voice is so annoying. Hello. Like, I hate it so much that I was like, somebody kill her already, which I'm sure people hear my voice and think the same thing. But yes, I was kind of rooting for everyone to die. Yes. Minus the house mother that I love, because she's me. She's like sneaking the booze, is hiding in the toilet.
It was everywhere. It was in the toilet. It was in the books. It was everywhere. I mean, you have to drink to deal with these ladies, because
of course,
as she's talking about them out loud, like she's talking to the dad, but she wasn't talking to him, because she tried to be very respectful to him. He can't find his daughter or whatever, and he's obviously paying for her to stay at this dorm or sorority or whatever. And so she's like, these girls would when they would hump the Leaning Tower of Pisa, they could get up there. I'm like, wow, you get your work cut out for you. No wonder you drink like a fish.
Yeah, well, she would hump that people too,
right, that's why they gave her an ugly ass nightgown. She's like,
I know,
This go
She's
my
like, thanks
chastity
a
belt
lot.
or whatever. She's like, this is hideous.
For real. And they're
Yeah.
like, put it on. I mean, everyone's terrible. The friend who finds out from her mom that she's like uninvited for Christmas,
Right.
the main girl, and then like the other main, and just gets wasted and turns into a bitch, you know.
Yeah.
You're not gonna root for her either. You're gonna be like, some
No.
Barb, I think is her name.
Yeah,
You're
Barb
like,
is Margot
kill
Kidder.
her.
I'm like, kill her. Go ahead. Was it just supposed to be some crazy dude? Because at some point they thought it was the boyfriend. So then, you know, Jess kills her boyfriend, which, yeah, he was a little weird.
He sucked anyway. And he was like trying to pressure her. And like, he looked like a killer anyway. But
a little bit, but he was
no,
also like off because he had a massive meltdown tantrum about his little recital. Why was he sweating so much? It's not the drums.
Because he was thinking about the abortion and he's so worried that she's going to kill his offspring. Like, eye roll, get out of here. And so he's thinking about that, you know, and wants to pressure her to keep the baby.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess
but she should have just went ahead and done it. And like, I don't know why people have to tell the dude.
Why did he say, like,
it's like,
if you
they want the drama.
They do. Like, if you want to have that conversation, like, that's one thing. But why did you go there to go, I'm going to get rid of it anyways?
Yeah.
No matter what you say. Then why did you say anything?
Yeah.
If it was like, no matter what, then why ruin the dude's day? Like, I don't understand.
If back then it was like harder to get one then. Let's see, 74. No, they were legal. But anyway, that's like a weird subplot of but I think that's supposed to show that the person, whoever is calling, is either him or in the house, because they referenced that conversation that just happened about her getting rid of the baby. And so I think at that point you're supposed to think it's him as the killer.
Right. So
but I'm like, why would he want to just calling, keep saying cunt and everything? And I swear someone from my family kept walking down every time the obscene phone calls. And I was like, this movie isn't that bad. It's just whenever this stupid, like, he has to say the C word over and over. I'm like,
pig. And I'm like,
and I was taking notes. And I just wrote cunt on my notes. And Nina's like, what are you doing? But, you know, it's part of the movie.
Like, at first, it was just the moaning and the, you know, and just the obscenity.
Heavy breathing.
But then it got, like, crazy.
Yeah.
With, like, Billy and the mommy.
Yes.
And I'm going...
Well, so that's supposed to tell you that the guy is like not okay in the head. And it's like in this movie, it's a random that I think in the beginning, it shows him coming in through the attic or the chimney or something. It shows him come into the house. That's why he shows the girl
house, yes.
That goes up first. He suffocates her.
He suffocates her and then leaves her in the attic. And the police suck.
Yeah.
Okay. They came and they looked over the house. So the girl, like, all her friends are dead. Her now boyfriend's dead because she killed him in the basement. And so she's laying in the bed. She's asleep. And they all left.
Mm-hmm. Well, because they think, okay, this is the thing in scary movies. The police or somebody is always outside the door. Like, I'd be like, okay, just sit in here with me and literally stay by my side. Somebody stay with me. Why are you always like, I don't need privacy right now. I'm trying not to die. They, you know, because they wanted an easy, it must have been the boy. It's usually the boyfriend of somebody you know. So he's dead. So there's no more danger. They don't check the attic
at all. Like, there's 2 bodies up there and a cat. Like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, it's very like, I don't know. I feel like that's almost what would really happen, though. People just say they see the easy answer. Oh, it must be this person who did it. Let's stop looking for anybody else. It could have been. And so the movie ends and they don't really say what happens to her. Like, maybe he leaves her alone. I don't know, or comes down and kills her out of the basement. It is the it's just a deranged serial killer is all I saw online. To me, this one is such a classic. Like, I always watch this one around Christmas, and because, you know, it puts me in the Christmas spirit with murder. Yeah, this movie, it's a classic. I'm glad that you finally watched it. I can't believe you'd never seen it before.
I've never seen it before, no. And I was like, oh, Margaret Kidder, okay, cool. And then I love that, like, Officer Nash is like the biggest dumbass on the planet. She's like, fellatio, and he's like, what? Okay.
And then
What
when
is
he
that?
repeats it, they're like, ah, ha, ha. Well, clearly he's not getting any. So that's why
Yeah, he doesn't even know
know.
what it is. He's all confused. And then the cop goes, do not tell her that he's in the house. Don't tell her. Just tell her to leave and drop everything.
I know.
And then finally, in like the desperate ploy to get her to leave, he's like, he's in the house. Just get out.
And still,
Like,
she's an idiot.
you
Like,
failed.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I would have been like, as soon, oh yeah, he should have said, put the foot, like, just run, because he's up to, like, I don't know why people, I guess that's part of the movie,
Right.
he's not supposed to tell her. But to me, if somebody said he's in there, that would get me out quicker,
Right.
than just
Down,
being
and
like,
you're already at the door. Why? And then even then, you're already at the door. You're hollering for your friends. Continue.
yeah.
If they're not responding and you know he's in the house, leave. Just walk out the door.
Yeah. And again, this film won't really happen now because there probably isn't a landline anywhere besides where I am right now at my parents' house.
It was good, I think, for the time of it. I thought it was interesting.
Yes, it's not like, full of gore or anything. It's very dialogue or plot driven, I guess you would say. But entertaining. Once again, was entertaining. There's nobody you really like, so you're kind of okay with everyone dying, or at least I was.
This is true.
On that note, how many? I don't know what's a good measurement.
Let's do wreaths.
Okay.
Wreaths.
How many
wreaths? I think are good. Yeah. How many wreaths?
Okay. Am I judging it based on like a Christmas horror movie or horror movie in general?
Okay. If we're going to, let's do both.
Okay.
Because I would have a different scale for each.
Yeah. Same.
Okay. Go ahead.
So based on it, this is my score for it as a Christmas horror movie. I'm saying 5 out of 5 because there's not that many other. Overall, as a film, I'm still gonna give it like a 4. It'll be a 4 because it's deemed, I think, the first slasher movie, or maybe like one of the first. Incredibly innovative for its time. Like a good plot. You're very involved the entire time, and so I like it. That's what I give it.
I would give it, for a Christmas movie, I would give it a 3 out of 5 because it, other than the decorations, there wasn't Christmas stuff. Like it wasn't Christmas. Like other than it's like, that's like all the Thanksgiving, horror films that are just because they say Thanksgiving in them at one point in time. It's a Thanksgiving break.
You have a point there, because I always wondered that too, and I thought that the murderer was going to be dressed as Santa or something. And interesting enough, the release date, this came out in October of that year, which is great because then you got Halloween, and then it carried over
and
to
then
Thanksgiving
carried over and things. Yeah, so that they did really well when they released it. And then for like an actual horror film of the 70s, I'm gonna go 4 out of 5, just because of the nostalgia of it. And I do like that it's pretty much all shot in like the house. Although I don't understand like the sub little plot there of the girl who was killed and like found in the ravine or something when they went looking for this other girl. I was like, what?
I think that's just supposed to show that he was a deranged killer, like they wasn't somebody they knew. I think that's all that's supposed to be.
Okay. Because I was like,
that he's randomly killing people.
We gotta look out for is the same dude.
Yeah. No, I imagine that's just to show that they aren't the only victims. I think so.
Okay.
But I'm glad I forced you to watch it. Now you can watch the remake, but this one's the better one. Yeah. On that note.
Yeah. So follow us on Facebook and Instagram, Shea Scare Lounge or Shea Scare. Like, subscribe, share, hit the bell. What is wrong with you?
I feel like I have to shimmy when it's off my shoulders. Anyway,
and then make comments, leave comments, follow us. Yeah, no, be a Patreon.
Why don't you just put that on there?
I will need to. Well, people listen to the podcast.
Oh, that's right. I forget that. You need to tune in because I'm wearing a fancy Christmas outfit. So and next week Shea will be in.
I'll be wearing something or something. We'll see.
Candy cane nipple tassels is what she will be wearing.
No one needs
She's already
to see
wearing
that.
those. Those are constantly on under her shirt.
No one needs to know this information. It's just for your eyes only.
for the Patreon eyes only.
It's for the Patreon page. Go follow that.
Alrighty. Yeah. Well, till next time. Merry almost Christmas. Happy holidays.
Bye. Have a what?
I was gonna say have a horror Christmas, and then that sounds like how horrible Christmas.
Or have a horror Christmas.
Have a horror Christmas.
Horror.
Horror.
WHOR.
Whenever I'm like, I love horror movies, and they're like, horror movies? Horror.
Like, no, not like pornographic, but horror, like scary.
Yeah, you know, there's
Yeah,
probably scary
every time I
pornos
say it,
out there.
I have to say scary movie, not horror,
Oh.
because I feel like it always confuses
But
people.
the genre is horror.
This is true, but it sounds like horror. So
it does. I know.
Messes everything up. And there's usually sex in it. So it just messes everybody's mind.
It should always be tits. There's no tits in this movie. That should have
That's a
lowered my
good
score.
point. That's a good point. That's good.
Like,
I like that there isn't. I do like that there was no. There
has to be an obligatory.
Whatever. There's that weird peace sign that the mother hen lady covers up with the butt.
That's the cut. Or was it the cooch? No, it was a butt. They're like,
it was a butt. It was a woman underneath with her legs open and a man on top with the legs down to make peace sign. You know, Leo was in Critter. Was he in Critters 3?
Critters like 3. We need to watch that because I still have never watched that to this day.
Billy Zane
and
was in Critters 1. I mean,
Billy Zane, always Billy Zane. Your love and love. Hi, I'm Shealyn.
So sassy. Uh-huh.
You're supposed to say, and I'm Shay. Oh my gosh, what's going on here?
I'm sorry, I'm so enamored with you. With your like stuff you have going on here.